Hello, this is Muskan Khemka from ECE 8th Sem. Today I am here to present my views on battery-less smartphone. The smartphone which we are using these days are indeed smart. However, are they really that smart, or the companies are claiming? The answer to this question is yes, but are not those really dumb if we discuss it in terms of battery life? Yes, they are. Even the companies that sell smartphones of phenomenal rates have the issue of battery performance. The performance is better as compared to the others, but it is still a mystery if discussed in terms of a long life. So today I am going to talk about the phone which we can use without the battery. So the topics which I will be covering in my presentation is abstract, introduction, first batteryless phone, framework, prototype, how does solar cell work and increase the range, advantages, limitations, conclusion and future scope. So moving to my first slide is abstract. If we just date back to January 9, 2007, the date when the world first witnessed a smartphone, and in fact the first touchscreen smartphone. Mr. Jobs, the owner of the Apple Inclusive, launched the iPhone, aiming to turn everyone's life uncomplicated. And then it has been 13 years since the touchscreen phone has been launched. Many types of research have been done in order to find the exact reason of the battery chain and the rapid rate and its solution. Although none of them were able to accomplish anything special. And hence, rather than to find a solution to the battery's long life, a different solution was established, and it works to construct phones which can be operated without the batteries. Introduction. The smartphones which we are using nowadays are a phenomenal rate due to the battery performance. The first smartphone was developed by the University of the Washington, who invented the phone with the dial pad, and to the next level of astonishment, the phone was designed that could harvest energy from radio signals. The idea of radio signals, the phone developed features a dial pad, a small LED, and also include the e-ink display. So here is the first smartphone which was developed by the University of the Washington. It is having a dial pad and a small LED is here, and it harvests its energy from the radio signals. But again, there are some of the shortcomings. They used to extract their energy from thin air or the radio frequency waves. The zero power framework can work, attain and make calls and contain a dial pad screen, making it absolutely according to the present technology. Since no one of us now can rely on just making a call and then picking up call. We want something more from our smartphones. The lower power model also lacks a data connection, but the technology is still under development as they are claiming. The model does not work without the headphones or earphones, which means you always have to have your headphone or earphone in your hand. A special microphone is being designed to generate some electromagnetic waves to enhance the device output. The range of signal is quite less, and hence the range of the distance can be increased by significant amount. So here is a small framework which was designed by them. The prototype invented a few months back yields energy from the radio signals. The device uses a minute photodiode to harvest energy from the ambient light or RF sources. It consumes only 3.5 microvolts of the power from these energy sources. So the procedure for fetching energy from ambient sources had been taught. It can be done in two forms. First, harnessing energy. Second, conversion of ambient signals to power with the photodiode. Now, procedure for fetching energy from the ambient sources. First is harnessing energy. In order to harness energy from the ambient source, a base station is required. The base station should be specified in the range of 31 feet to 50 feet. RF energy can be transmitted on unlicensed band or grades getting to 886 MHz to 5.4 GHz from their respective base station. Now, the RF energy which are received by the antenna has been moved to the RF to DC conversion. Since DC conversion is necessary. Now, when it moves to the DC conversion, the power conditioning is there. One of the power conditioning which we are using is power cast power harvester receiver. After it is given the output to the load. But there are some of the main features which we haven't configured, but they are the main features. Like in the phone, a photodiode was used to convert the ambient light into current or DC power. These photodiodes can also produce energy in absence of light, as they contain optical fibers and built-in less performance in dark conditions. So here I am going to explain in the diagram. Here we have used a photodiode which will work with the light. Two CMOS are there which are connected with the photodiode. Now we are getting the output from the Vout. The ground or harvest is the one from which we are getting our DC output. Now taking this conversion of ambient signals to power with the photodiode. Now again the harnessing energy is having some of its shortcomings. Like since the amount of power required for functioning of the prototype was very less. A photodiode is a semiconductor with p-n junction diode and an intrinsic layer between two junctions. The photo current is provoked by the electron hole pair because of the assimilation of the light between depletion region. When the photons of energy greater than 1.1 electron volt strike the diode, electron hole pairs are originated. The potential of photon absorption depends upon the energy of the phone. The lower the energy of the photon, the deeper the assimilation is. Hence, the holes proceed towards the anode and the electron move towards the cathode, thereby generating a photocurrent. And this is how a small amount of energy is generated in the battery-less phone with the assistance of a tiny photodiode. Here we are using a simple photodiode is here. P plus I and N plus I is the insulator. So it can be a complete insulator one or it can be doped with the N-type if we want to make it an N-type completion. Now we want that the light to be fall completely on the insulation. So we have used the contact at each end. These are the metallic contacts and guardings have been used so that the mechanism cannot get revoked. Now the prototype and the working of the batteryless smartphone. The user undertakes, there is a quick button at the center of the batteryless smartphone which is used for transmitting, listening to the notes. To here we have used the shell components which are printed on circuit boards so that the battery prototype can perform basic functions like calling and hanging up. The custom base station collects the data in the form of digital packages with the help of the backscatter and connect the call through Skype. The device inherits the signal with the technology referred to as zero power amplitude modulation and plans the audio and the earphones. For making the phone call, a user has to dial the number on the dial pad and has to speak into the microphone. There are some of the basic terms which I have used like cell components, backscatter, Skype, zero power amplitude modulation. I will be covering these topics in my furthermore slides. First is the shell component and its working. So here we are able to see a shell component. It's having the system hardware in the center, the kernel, the shell and the user. The shell which is used with the kernel is a part of the operating system of the battery-free device that is utilized for recasting the human-made programming into the machine language. When the user enters the command, what they do is to interpret or translate the language to the machine language. The kernel then receives and accepts the request and exhibits it onto a display area on the screen. The kernel also provides memory for the running process on the prototype. So the user, the shell, the kernel and the system hardware. We are talking about the power. So how can we save the power in this process? So if we head back towards the mobile and the device of today's generation, the phenomenon behind the mobile's hunger is that it converts analog signal into the digital data packages. So basically our mobile uses its most of the battery in the conversion of analog signal into digital data package. The process consumes a high amount of battery smartphones that we are operating at present. And now in the smartphone there is no use of the battery. So, as the battery-free prototype takes the dominance of minute vibration that occur in the phone's microphone, speaker, and then user the speaker using the microphone or listens to the incoming call. An antenna is connected to the shell and the outermost shell components receives the analog signal, which are emitted by the cellular base station. Now again, this backscatter is helping in transmitting the signal. In order to maintain the cycle, digital packages are further help in retaining signal strength. So backscatter is performing a major role, and so we should look at how it's working it. A backscatter is a device that reflects or deviates any packet through an angle measure of approximately 180 degrees. RFID backscatter is a technology which uses the power transmitter in accordance to the tag reader to vibrate tags objects that are to be identified. RFID backscatter conversion controls outside the field region and the radio signal proficient away from the RFID reader. So here is small diagram, like here is the reader. The antenna is getting with the signal approaching the RFID tag. The antenna communicates with the ongoing signal and the energy to deviate towards the RFID signal. Over the momentum, the quality of the power outreaching the tag from the reader is quite enough to allow operation to low current circuit inside with the tag. So with the low current, the battery-less device was able to reflect the digital package. Now with the reader is here, antenna is getting the signal, and on the same hand it is transferring the signal to the RF tag. That is to the another antenna. Now encoding of speech pattern. The process of obtaining power from the minute vibration of the microphone and speaker was indeed a great idea, but how does it happen? What are the basic steps behind it? The answer to all these questions relates to the title. This process inherently involves encoding of speech patterns through the reflected radio signals that is farther away, which is any of the power. To acquire speech, it translates encoder radio signal into sound vibrations which are harvested by the speaker at the receiver's phone. Zero power amplitude modulation. It's working and important. The zero power amplitude modulation is that electron with the greatest intensity is used in almost all of the wireless receiver, and then it can be easily substituted with the electronic component that can either sustain without the battery. It can also increase the range of the current RFIDs in the appreciable manner, and it can also provide an exceptionally wide input bandwidth. The audio is transmitted using zero power analog backscatter. Since the device uses RF signals to manipulate few microwatts of power, it was necessary to use microphones or earphones so that the signal strength is not lost. Skype usage and information with the batteryless phone. Skype is a VoIP, that is Voice over Internet Protocol. Any VoIP application uses SIP to produce data packages and transmit it to the same network that you are using. The audio clips are then divided into small parts and are finally sent to the required destination from your network. Then at the receiver's end, the audio is reconstructed once again to make it clear to the user. Finally, the call is connected to the phone number and the receiver's audio is heard through headphones. How does solar cell work and increases ranging by saving power? Solar cell constitutes of PN junction diode, which is assembled from silicon and germanium. This process constructs an open space for light to fall and P layer and then underline the PN junction. This electron, the bottom of N layer comprises of current assembling electrode. When load resistance is connected in the circuit, the current flows through the solar cell. This electron hole generated in the depletion region accelerated in opposite direction because of the barrier field. Photo generated in electron acceleration is direction of N type and electron direction towards the P type. This current flow from the solar cell is greater than the produced by the RF signal, and hence a reason the capacity of the backscatter increases. in order to send the digital packet back to the base station, and finally the range increases. It is the small solar cell which is implanted on the chip. This is how it looks and this is how it is put in the batteryless smartphone. Now the advantages. First advantage is conserves electricity. Since the phone does not consist of a battery, it saves electricity to a great amount. Second, saves time. It was estimated that a person usually spends approximately 2.5 hours in a day while waiting for the phone to charge. The amount of time increases to around 1000 hours in a year. Third, low power consumption. The battery-free cell phone consumes only 3.5 microwatts of power, which is captured from the ambient power source. On an average, it was found that charging a phone consumes 1 kilowatt hour of power in a year. The power is quite low as compared to the time period in 1 year. Fourth, no charging issue. Since it is not having a battery, there is no issue of charging it. If everything is having its advantage, then it is also having its limitation. So here are the limitations. Limited range. Since we have set up a base, so it is having a very limited range and it is very much occupied in that much range. Connecting to calls with ear or headphone. This is the measure of the limitation. You always have to carry your headphones or the earphones so that you can get connected to the call. Use of solar cell. Since we are not using any of the direct battery in our hand, we have to use solar cell in order to get it recharged. Fourth, lacking multiple operational features. Now we are used to have multiple operational features in our smartphone. Like at the same time we have to text, we have to call, we have to listen to the music. It is lacking all those features. Conclusion. Conclusion is the one which sum up my presentation. Developing a phone that uses no power, which means the phone has to battery and harness energy from ambient light and signal sources. With the phone, we can just dial number and call to another person. This phone is just consume 3.5 microwatts of power and harvest energy from ambient radio and light sources with the help of the minute diodes that convert light and signal strengthening into the current, which is furthermore converted to the few microwatts of power. Now, future scope. Now I am going to tell you about the future scope and the possible enhancement. The team of researchers already explained the major pros and cons of the battery-free cell phone and demonstrates the model with the hope of making major enhancement in the future. The prototype lacked multiple features and in fact the phone was limited to the capacitive die-pad, which was made upon a phone motherboard with all the crucial parts, photodiode and solar cell exports. Hence, some of the betterments that can be implemented are increase in the range, encryption problem since we are doing right now with the Skype. Third, video streaming and internet access, and fourth is low power e-ink display. Thank you so much. That is all about my topic.